Hi there! So today I'm going to be planting up some heucherella that I picked up at this local giant greenhouse that I go to sometimes. It's a little bit off the beaten path for me, but they have some great deals at the end of the season usually, so I like to stop in there and see what they have going on. And I was glad I stopped because they had all of their green colored heuchera and heucherella on sale for $2, $2 each. These were originally like $10, I think, and then on sale for $5, and then they reduced it to $2. So I picked up 5 of them because I kind of have a spot in mind for them. I'm going to see how they look, and I think they'll do just great. Now, these heucherella, they can go in sun or shade. Heucherella or heuchera in my area, I'm in Michigan, zone 4 to 5. It really does actually better for me in more sun than it does in shade. It just seems to kind of grow more vigorously in full sun. The only thing I will say is the coloring is a little bit different than it would be if it was planted in the full shade. So I noticed like my wild berry heuchera, that one doesn't get as deep of a purple if I plant it in the full sun. It's more of like a lighter purple, but I don't mind. I think it's pretty either way. So this one is a heucherella called Catching Fire. You can see it's got that kind of chartreusey leaf with the red veining in the middle. It's going to be really pretty. And it is, I mean, it could have taken a beating here. Maybe that's why it was on sale, but it does need to be cleaned up a little bit. There are some brown leaves in there, and kind of looks like it might have got scorched on the top in a few places, but we'll just pick those leaves off and clean them up a little bit and put them in the ground, and hopefully they'll do just fine. So I'm actually going to put these in my front landscape. So I've got a couple different heucheras already where I'm going to put these, and we'll see how they do. I've got like a purpley color one, a red color one, and then now this limey green one. I think it will look really good. Okay, this is where I'm going to plant my new Catching Fire heucherella. So if you can see here, I have a dappled willow, which has seen better days. Actually, it hasn't seen better days. It's been on a struggle ever since I bought it, but anyway, I think the chipmunks ate the roots, and we've been dealing with that for a few years. But we've got in the background some Annabelle hydrangeas I need to clean up a little bit. Dad had the brown bits off. And then in here I've got some Halcyon hosta, the blue hosta. Then planted in some Angelonia in here, this purple annual that is flowering. Then in front of that I have a kind of a drift of plum pudding heuchera. And then in front of that I have a drift of, I believe this is heucherella Foamy Bells pumpkin spice. Now these two heuchera, this plum pudding here and the pumpkin spice, they take on a much different look because they are pretty much in full sun. So the color is not the typical color you would see if this was planted in the shade. But I love these here. They bloom 2 different times, so this is actually the second flush of blooms here coming off of that. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can see that one better. This is actually the second flush of blooms, and they're so pretty. You can even cut those and use them in like flower arrangements. But anyway, I picked up, like I said, 5 of these Catching Fire heucherella, and I think that they're gonna look really nice in front of all this like darker color stuff. They just kind of pop and kind of take from this dappled willow color here as well. So I think it will also look neat because I have some Remember Me hostas kind of drifted in throughout here, and it kind of carries that throughout the rest of that bed there, but changes plants. So I think it's going to be really pretty. I have my shovel, I got my gloves. I don't love to wear gloves, but I also don't love to get poison ivy, and I have poison ivy everywhere in my yard, and I swear it's on all of my shovels and rakes and handles to my wagons and everything. Like, I can't get rid of it. So I just always have to wear gloves. So first things first, put my gloves on. I also seen some spiders, so I am not a spider person. So if I see a spider, we might have to call it quits and come back another day. So I am just basically moving the mulch over to the side. Just gonna dig a little hole here. It's pretty sandy soil, but I've been adding like compost to it and stuff like that for this organic Espoma plant tone fertilizer on all my plants, so that also helps kind of condition the soil over time as well. So I'll just take her out, plop her in. I just throw it right into the hole when I plant it new. And my heuchera, since this is kind of sandier soil, I do tend to not plant it down as deep because it likes really good drainage, and if it's planted down too far, it will just drown and it will not perform well. So I think that might be another reason why it does so well in the sun for me, because it just gets nice and dried, stays nice and dried out. And sorry if you can hear that loud noise, the farmer is harvesting the corn in the field over there. So I'll probably put some music on and we'll keep going. well, we made it without getting a spider jumping on us, so that was great. Plus right there. I'm going to clean up my mess and we will water these in and show you what they look like. I think it looks really good. I am going to go in here and just kind of trim up some of my hydrangeas real quick, just so it looks a little nicer. And they do fine up here. Those are just Annabelle hydrangeas, and like the big white snowball ones, and they do really well for how much sun they get. But then towards this time of year they do end up starting to get a little brown. So I will go in and just trim off the heads and it will look a lot nicer. Well, now my husband is mowing the lawn, so you probably can't hear me, but we're just gonna do a quick kind of swoop through of the little bed, and I really like how it turned out. It really helps the heucherella and the other heuchera kind of pop in this flower bed. So I've sometimes tried to plant annuals here, and probably because the soil is so sandy, like nothing does well. So I feel like these will do pretty good here because they are in full sun. So, all right, let's do it. You probably can't even hear me right now because of that. Well, I came down in my garden to say bye to you, and thanks for watching. And I don't even know if you can hear me right now. I feel like I seem to pick the worst times to make a video, but that's okay.